Hey, give me just a second to get everything all set up. Well, everybody joins, get your notifications on YouTube and Twitch that the stream is live. Should be getting mine any second now. Come on. Video manager. Says I'm streaming. Says I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch, but not seeing any evidence of that on YouTube and Twitch. Oh, it might just be one of those days. A lucky Friday? Who knows? Well, in any case, I'll get started. I am Chuck Tomasi. This is December 1st, TGIF to everybody. Go to my channel on YouTube real quick. There we go. I am a ServiceNow employee with about 7.5 years of experience, customer before that, and love trying to type and talk at the same time. Most of my time has been spent doing custom applications and integrations. I've been in professional services. I've been in pre-sales. There we go. There we go. And having a good time. Get to build fun stuff. I'm often on live coding happy hour. I believe we're doing a live coding happy hour today. So stay with us later this afternoon if you're on the East Coast. I believe it's 4:30 or 1:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Josh Narius, Dave Slusher, and I do that. I will be doing most of my work out of the community today. So if you want to, if you're not already signed up, go to developer.servicenow.com. Get yourself a free personal developer instance. There's also all of our scripting APIs and documentation over there. We also have... This is the last day for call for speakers for Knowledge 18 and CreatorCon. So get over there, get signed up, submit your ideas. It doesn't have to be fleshed out. You can work on that later. We just want to know who wants to speak about what so we can put things in the right boxes and get signed up. Like 80–90% of the content delivered at Knowledge is from customers. So it's very important that you get these things signed up. In fact, right now, if there aren't a lot of people signed up, you've got a really good chance of getting signed up. So that's the odds are in your favor. Go over to knowledge.servicenow.com, look for the call for speakers link. If you can't find it, send me a message in the YouTube channel or send me a message on the community, and I will do my best to respond to it. The community can be found, of course, over at community.servicenow.com. That's what you see right behind me. And I will be digging in and spending an hour or so to find out what we can do to answer your questions, solve your problems. Again, most of my experience is in the platform, custom applications, integrations. So I'm not going to be able to answer every question, but it's sort of a random guess to see what happens. If we run out of things, I'll take things out of my inbox and start answering questions and responses from yesterday, see what happens. So let me put the titles away, make my self smaller, take that magic mushroom and get tiny, and we'll begin. So I am, again, as I said, on the community at community.servicenow.com. You can find me there. And let's see what's in the unreplied section from last night. How to find $SN global search results. That's a great question. I have no idea what the question is, but it sounds interesting. So let's take a look. Visual Task Board project task. Might be better placed in the IT business management section, but it has to do with VTB, which is a platform feature. We'll take a look. Multiple input field to be used in processing script. Let's see what that comes up as. How to disable continue shopping button from shopping cart. Don't know, but there might be a property. Let's find out. Issue with the data source JDBC. We can take a look. I'm just going to line things up that I'll take a look at. Don't know if I'm going to get to all of these. I'm going to spend an hour or so, see what we can find. Null pointer when provisioning EC2 instance using cloud management. Not big into the cloud management or IT operations. That might be one that I could steer to Craig's step. Craig, are you watching? Sometimes he is. I know he jumps in. Good morning, Alex. If you want to say hi on the YouTube channel, I'd love to hear from you. Or in Twitch, I've got the stream up and running there. Keeping an eye on those windows as well. But if you've got a question, I mentioned, throw it in to community.servicenow.com. We'll see what comes out the other end. Pagination and navigation for knowledge articles on Service Portal. Well, Service Portal is one of those things you can do anything you want. So if it doesn't do what you want right out of the box, you have the ability to write your AngularJS and fix it. Cloud management made easier. Alexa, ask Ticket to create an incident. Alexa integration with ServiceNow. I heard about that. That's a discussion or a blog article that somebody wrote. It just came into my mail inbox this morning. I believe this is based on John Crane's work. We're going to find out. Reference preview layout for extended tables. Reference preview layout. Not sure what that's asking, but sounds interesting. Setting up and using knowledge base as the experts. Kingston platform. I updated that last night. And I should probably see Kingston part 1 in here too. So I think we're getting into stuff that I updated or saw yesterday. Leading ServiceNow partners seek SecOps. Upcoming Western Pennsylvania snug. That sounds fun. Yeah, I encourage you to look at snugs and particularly developer meetups. You go over to developer.servicenow.com. You'll find a link to meetup.com where you can find, hopefully find a developer meetup in your area. If there isn't one and you want to get started, let us know. We're happy to help facilitate that. The developer community is growing like gangbusters. I think just last quarter, it was around 3,500 members on LinkedIn, or excuse me, meetup.com. And now it's over 5,000. So 40% growth, something like that, is pretty incredible. No, that's more like 60% growth in one quarter. It's up like 90% over the year. And that doesn't tell you you're backing the right horse. I don't know what does. Good morning, good morning. So it is bright and early. I'm not seeing anything new to tackle in here, so let's take a look at some of the things that came in from last night. Hi all, I wanted to edit the content in $SN Global Search Results page. Where can I find this in an instance? It's a page. And if it starts with $1, hi Naeem, any page that starts with $1 is not editable. Editable. Wow. When your hands don't hit the home row quite right, things are not going to be good today. By customers. These are only available to ServiceNow developers to reduce the risk of, reduce the disk. There's a motor skill. Reduce the risk of bad things happening with customizations. We saw this a lot. When we exposed UI pages to customers in the past. Now that most of the UI is on Angular JS, there are a number of custom pages, or not custom pages, but fit for purpose, I'll call them. Purpose pages that the product managers wish to keep unmodified. If you feel you must have access to change / configure the page, good old enhancement request. I invite you to open an enhancement request. Long answer for short answer. All right. Checking back on the big main list. So I responded to that. Visual task board. Let's go to the visual task board one. TGIF. I suspect most of my European watchers, my European friends, have gone for the day. Well, it's 1 p.m. there. Shouldn't be too bad. Is it possible to show due date on this project task? they are looking at the card when they click into the card? The answer should be yes. It's the VTB view. Hi, John. John Vo. We've seen John Vo's name on the community quite a bit. Check and see if that table has a VTB view defined. That's what is supposed to be displayed when you click on a card. Click on a VTB card. Maybe a helpful link. Yes. Get to my helpful links. VTB view. I think it'll be under views or VTB, but I'm going to try both. Configure the visual taskboard card view. That's half the equation. That just gets the card view. I want the visual taskboard spoke, visual taskboard checklist, view management. There it is. That's the one I want. The taskboard card view. That discussion came up last week, wasn't it? Or 2 weeks ago? If you've been watching, you might remember. Maybe you can help me find it. Sometimes things don't get resolved and they just get lost. Good morning and thank you for joining. Hi all. Can anyone please help me with the below query? I would like to use multi-line field input to be fetched in my processing script. How to use the field value in the processing script. The field value is this field. So it's going to be just a variable called this field. I'm going to look at an example real quick. I don't do processing scripts too often, so pardon me just a minute while I turn my head and work on my laptop real fast and bring up an example that I need to reference. Actually, I could probably find it on my dev instance. Roles, UI page. Go to UI pages and let's see if we can find a processing script that is not empty. Many have them. Might as well share what I'm looking at. Let's look for... the instance is being a little slow. We're going to have to play a drinking game again today. Processing script is not empty. Run. There's probably going to be a lot of examples of this. Let's try add catalog item. Why not? Somewhere in here, I would think it would have some variables. Processing script glide helper, request get parameter. Oh, that's interesting. What is request? And what is response? This almost looks like a scripted REST API now. That's not the way I've seen variables come into the processing script in the past. Next record, unless we've changed something about the API, which is always possible. I'm not privy to all the developer information. Sysaction equals submit. PPM divided URL stack, get stack, bottom, response, send direct URL stack. That just plays around with the URL. Interesting, but not what I'm after. Next example, we need something that has forms on a field, fields on a form. Say that the right way, 3 times fast. Refresh, sysid list. That looks current query. I'm guessing those are my variables up here. Yeah, that's as far as I remember, right? That is how you address variables. Lakshmi, if I can spell it. You can address the variables from the fields as just the name, as the name in the ID. Actually, I think it was the name as the value in the name attribute. In your case, the processing script should automatically have a variable called this field. Just be sure you enclosed your fields in a form tag, like a good HTML form should have. Form should be. Big smiley face on that one. All right. A little jelly code in the morning. Put jelly on your toast. Let's check the master list, see if anything new's come in while I was talking, thinking, researching. And it has. Stopping duplicate names being inputted. Could be worth a look. It's put down next to that tab. I'm looking where it goes. Sometimes they pull up on the way over, and sometimes they pull up on the way over. Manual CI not mapped to alerts incidents. Hi, Tom. I'll take a look at that if I can. Hello, I have a catalog item which asks the user input the name of the group they'd like to request being made. However, it's often that the user will input a group that already been made. Is there any way to create an on-change client script which looks up what the user has entered and compare to the group table and see if it's a duplicate, and then prompt the user that I've entered duplicate group? I guess that could be done with an alert though. Yes, you can do that. That's all part and fun of doing a glide Ajax call. Hi, Jordan. Yes, I recommend using a glide Ajax call and a script include to process it. This is pretty standard stuff. Actually, there's two options. No, you can't do a get reference because he's not using a reference field. Okay. And well documented. If you want to see an example or two, refer to episode, what is it, 5 is client scripts? I think 4 was client scripts, 4 was server. I'm going to check. 4 was server, 5 is client, 6 is script include. Yes? Server, client, script include. Yay. Okay. Close that tab. Get back to where we were. Episode 5 and 33, well, that's 2, so I need episodes to be proper English. 5 and 33 of Tech Now. And there's our reference. Very easy to do. Or I could spend 15 minutes writing the code for them, but I don't know his variables and I don't know where everything's going, so I'm not going to attack that one. Okay. Anything else? I like to take the new stuff first. Updated field not changing. Sounds kind of oxymoron there. It's not changing. How is it being updated? Let's take a look. I am working on a project where I would be modifying a record for user-defined table using REST API method put. But if I update a record with the same values, the updated field does not show the time record updated. The same holds true even if I update the record with the SAM. If you're updating a record and none of the values change, it's not a true update. The system is smart enough to say nothing updated, so it's not going to update the sys updated. Hi, Robbie. Just so I'm clear, you have a record with something like this. Field 1 equals value 1. Field 2 equals value 2. And your REST API tries to do an update where field 1 equals value 1 and or field 2 equals value 2. And you expect the updated by and updated on fields to reflect that. Correct? If there are no value changes to the field, the system doesn't really do an update. That's to save time and database. That's just save time. If nothing changed, it's not really an update. Please let me know if I have misunderstood the question/issue. All right. I've done stuff like that. It's a bit like hitting update on a form. Like if you didn't change anything and you just hit update, it's not going to do anything. There's no point. We have a new response in the mailbox. Let's see what that's all about. John writes back about visual task boards. What I just replied to recently. VTB view. Okay. So that's your VTB view. That's what shows up while you pull it up. That just needs to be configured. Yes. Okay. Hi, John. John, thank you for the screenshot. That's the VTB view. Use the form menu to configure the form layout or form design to your specifications. When you save, then the VTB view is updated. Let's do form design. It's easier. I think you can't do a dot walk. Form design. The form designer. All right. Happy December, everybody. That's not what I was just working on. I was working on the inbox. TGIF. Put that on your shoes. It stands for toes go in first. Yeah, dad humor. Holidays are coming. I'm getting a little punchy. All right, we got a like or a bookmark on the Tech Now episode list. Very helpful. Thank you very much. I believe you can follow that too, so as I do updates, you'll get notifications in your inbox. How are we doing on time? Wow. 23 minutes into this already. I feel like I've done all of 2 things, but it's probably more like 5. This is why I wake up the next morning and I have 30 things in my inbox. It's like, wow, where'd all this stuff come from? Okay, that hasn't changed, so how to disable. How to disable continue shopping button. You know what I didn't realize? This is a bit of a tangent. I was doing some business travel on Tuesday, which is why there wasn't a show. And I realized that the Uber drivers were telling me, both in California and here, that Monday was just insane for travel. It was crazy. Apparently the flights are a lot cheaper on Monday rather than Sunday for the Thanksgiving holiday. And I'm really glad that I didn't do any business travel on Monday because they said the lines were long, Uber service was long, Uber service was expensive, like sometimes up to 3 times its normal rate. And I just went, wow, okay, good thing I was traveling on Tuesday. So note to self, don't travel the day after most people travel because they'll think it's cheaper to travel that day too. And I can understand the college kids need to be home Sunday so they could be in school Monday. A lot of the people took an extra day off of work to extend their Thanksgiving holiday. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And it didn't work. Okay, how to disable continue shopping button. Hi all, we have a 2-step checkout process in place. Is it possible to disable the continue shopping button from the shopping cart for a specific catalog item? We want to disable the below highlighted button for for a specific catalog item. That is interesting. I do not know. No, I think that's done on the cart itself. You know what? I don't know, but I'm going to follow that just so I can learn as other people jump in here. So I'll go to follow, show it in my inbox, done, and now I'll get alerts if anybody responds to that. It's been open for a couple hours. Let's see what happens. Issue with data source JDBC. This is a blind attempt at seeing what's up. I'm trying to connect with PostgreSDB from ServiceNow, and I'm getting below error. Can someone help suggest something here? Error. Mid-server reported error. Could not connect to. Oh, excuse me. Connection reset. Okay, is it possible to connect to Postgres from the mid-server host itself? Do you have like a, I forget what Postgres command line tool is. Well, I don't know specifically the error message. The error message seems to indicate that the mid-server cannot communicate with the DB host instance, etc. Do you have a Postgres tool on the mid-server host that you can use to verify the connection is valid? Let's make sure things are working on your end before we start debugging the ServiceNow instance end. Be sure to validate the proper IP address, host, etc. for the DB connection. Basically, I asked, is it plugged in? Okay. Alexa, ask Ticket to create an incident. Alexa integration with ServiceNow. The power of IT service management from ServiceNow. The convenience of Amazon Alexa makes it a no-brainer. Users will fall in love with this force. Imagine creating your incident tickets and approving. Take it for a test drive. Is this on the store? Where is this? Oh, we got a couple things in the inbox. I'm going to go back there. After the skills enable, click the link account. Go in here, create your skill. I'm just looking at this. I've done this before. Sign into Decibel Apps using Amazon account. Looks like they've done a nice job. Haven't looked into the grand details. What I did here is this is based loosely on John Crane's work that he did, available on a GitHub repo if you're interested as a scoped app. John's lets you build the skills. This one looks like it's a little more hard-coded, but I haven't checked into it entirely. So if you're interested, check them both out. All right. Got a notification. Not sure if I should read my notifications in public. Is it possible to show the due date on this project task? Maybe I should read my notification on the other screen. Come on, go away, pop-ups. I got it under the VTB view, but can I view it here? Oh, this is... Yes, these are configurable as well. I just don't remember how. What view is the bottom screenshot? I'm trying to remember what that is. Those are configurable. I just can't remember at the moment. All right. what I'm going to do there, unless somebody else jumps up and answers that, I am going to mark that as, this is the world's worst way to do it, trust me, but I need some kind of flag. I'm going to mark it as unread, which means I got to get back to it. Pardon me while I make sure that this isn't like confidential information. I'm going to take this and drag it over to the other screen for just a minute while I look at my notifications. And notification says, it's just a notification saying Robert has endorsed one of my responses. So thank you, Robert. I got another latest claim. Robert liked that as well. Thank you, thank you. And that one is going up there. So if it says I replied to it, it means I've got homework to do. Let's see. We are almost out of backlog. Let's see what's come in new. Might be a short show today. Timeline visualization panel fields. Create a minute variable in a choice list. You want 60 choices in a choice list? All right. If you want. Hoping someone can help me. I'm trying to create a new variable called minute in a choice list with other time definitions. This is from a list called interval. I've already created a new variable with this list given a value sequence 0 as a placeholder. Okay, minute value 0. My question is, now that I have created the label minute, where do I go to define the value 0 means to ServiceNow? ServiceNow already knows. What is the column interval used for? Is it a table? If so, what table? Look at the business. So this is a choice. And the choice is, the variable is called interval. The label the choices are minute, day, week, month. Now that I've created the label minute, where do I go to define what the value of 0 means to ServiceNow? ServiceNow already knows that day has a value of 1 and week has a value of 2, and I would like to also include minute in my ServiceNow. Much appreciated. I don't need to define anything. Minute that you've created has a value of 0. Stored. Yeah, what it means is what it means to you. When you make choice list choices, yeah, I'm with the others. When you define choice list choices, you are defining the label and the value. The value is the meaning. How you use it is up to you. Be it in client scripts, UI actions, business rules, notifications, etc. The value 0 is the value for the label, just in case you want to do other languages later. So when you reference 0, you are talking about the reference 0 as the value for interval. You know that it represents minute. Your work is done. Except for the scripting. Someone's overthinking this. ServiceNow isn't that hard when it comes to choice lists. All right, timeline visualization panels. Reference preview layout. Let's take the last one that I got. We just upgraded our dev instance to Jakarta from Helsinki. And the reference preview for the task field on resource plan is showing the pop-up view for the task table and not the pop-up view for task type of the record currently being referenced. For example, if there is a resource plan open for the project record, when looking at the reference preview, it shows the base task table pop-up view form fields and not the pop-up for the project table. There is a pop-up view defined for projects and demands already, and this is working in our production and test instances, which are still on Helsinki. I was hoping someone may know how to get it to show the proper pop-up based on the task type of the task record currently in that field. I see what they're saying. That's interesting. I didn't know Helsinki did that. That's not what I would expect. And if let's find in the dictionary a reference to a task record. I'm sure there are lots of them. I go to the global. This list is getting too long. Platform team's going to have to do something about that. Okay, or the UI team, UX team, whatever they're calling themselves these days. Let's look for a reference. And let's look for a reference to task. And task has a reference to task. That's a variable. I don't want a variable. And let's group by table. That'll be easier, I hope. Plan task has one. Okay, so plan task notification, benefit plan, plan task, rel plan task, task. Task goes to parent. There's a good one. Let's do this. Task.do. Normally we don't do this, but I just need a quick task record. And parent points to task. So if I say 21894 points to incident number 1, save that. This is why it's fun to have a developer instance. You can put garbage out here. And I click that. This is Kingston, by the way. It shows me the incident view. Okay. But if I point it to change something, hit the right keys, change number 1, save that. They're saying it pulls up a generic task view all the time. I suspect this is a bug. It showed me a change request. So that may just be a Jakarta thing. I could test this. Did I upgrade my other instance? I gotta find a Jakarta instance that I own. I think this one's still in Jakarta. Let's find out. There we go. Smells like Jakarta. How do I know? I don't. I'm just guessing. Go to stats.do, check out the first couple lines, and it says, hooray, I'm on Jakarta. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Task.do, and this is Jakarta patch 5. Wow, that's lovely. Something seriously went off the rails here. But it's enough to get what I need to do. Do that, 26199, save that. It's a beautiful thing. Where's my reference icon? Click. Incident. Okay. Something is strange here. Hi, Jordan. Tested this on Jakarta, patch 5, and Kingston, and could not reproduce it. I went to task.do, entered an incident in the parent field, saved, and did the info icon test, and it showed the incident view. When I changed it to a change request. It updated the view accordingly. Something somewhere is forcing that task view. Don't know what it is, or why, or how. Sorry. Time to check what support has to say. That is not normal behavior. All right, we have some stuff in the inbox we can address. Robert, creating a minute variable in a choice list, also responded. Robert says, I don't think you're understanding what value is. The value doesn't mean anything to ServiceNow. It just is. It's a definition. You're exactly right. Because value is a better hook for coding than label, which actually is language specific. If you code in Japanese, you have Japanese characters. Still, the value is 0. Yes. Very well explained. So typically you see values written either lowercase versions of the label or as numeric values. The numerical values are advantages if you want to make decisions based on ranges of choices. State is a good example of this, where if I wanted something that is less than closed and my choice values were numerically ascending in the same order as my task's life, then I could code something as thing less than field value. Right now, your variable should be working fine with 0 as its value. Don't attribute a meaning to 0 that isn't there in this context. Edit. Tomasi again. I'll never get my 50K shirt. Yes, you will. I'm going to help because that was very helpful. Apparently my last name has now become a verb. Where is he anyway in terms of standings? I thought he was in 40,000. Come on. He's not that far. The friendly competition that goes on in the community is a wonderful thing. Ravi. All right, it is 1:45. Thank you for joining me on YouTube and or Twitch. Good to see you here today. Hi, I'm Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow. Just going through the community to see what I can answer, see what I can solve, what comes up. I do this every day anyway, so I thought, hey, why not? I've got the studio, I've got the equipment, I've got everything needed to do this live. Maybe someone will find some value in this. Todd from Florida says he had something. You're talking about the thing that I saw with the crazy view with multiple fields? Boom. Yeah, that's fun. And I'll bet if I go to configure form layout, this has nothing to do with the community now that I'm just looking at what. Yeah, that's nice. That's beautiful. How that happened, I don't know. Okay, well, it's easy enough to fix. The odd thing is, it's the task view, and if I create a new table that extends that, do I get that same view inherited? That's almost worth experimenting with, isn't it? Before I fix it. All right, I'm going to do it just for fun. I'll always delete this in a minute. Let's create a new. Do I have a dummy application? I do. I have a parts application. I used this for a demo back in September. Don't need it right now. Okay, so let's create a new table and extend task. I want to see, oops, not sure how I got that. I must have double clicked somewhere. And we'll call this part task. Good dumb name, parts part task. You know what? Let's just call it that. Pay attention to your table names. Your future self will love you. There's one thing I can't stand is using the same name twice. When you go through the app creation course and you're creating the loaner request table, it's X_scope name _ loaner request _ loaner request. Like, wait, that's a dumb table name. When I get to scripting, I'm going to hate myself for it. So let's do that. Make your table names logical and friendly. They don't have to be crazy labels. You want the labels to represent a nice human readable friendly, because if you call everything task or issue, it gets hard to find when you're doing a report. Which one is which? Okay, we've created the table. Let's go to parts. Didn't it create a module? Did I not create a module? Did I not? Maybe I just need to refresh. I'll make that a little bigger for you. Parts. Part tasks. Here we go. Did it inherit a bad form? That's the answer. That's the question we want answered. And yes, it did. That's lovely. All right, so whatever dorked up my task view on this instance is propagating to other applications. Let's fix that, because inevitably, I'm probably going to be doing a demo at some point. This is my demo CT instance. Okay, so task, easy to fix, right? Should we do form layout or form design? Let's do form design. I think it's just more fun clicking a bunch of X's. It'll also be interesting to see if it's represented the same way here. Wow. I think I might still be in the wrong scope. Yeah, I'm still in the part scope. I want a scope picker in my form designer, but I realize what happens when it's too late there. All right, just because that happened, I'm going to do form layout this time. Then I can select lots at once. Kill those. Kill those. You know, let's go all the way down to here. Do these in massive chunks. Kill those. Look at that, even multiple separators. Kill those. It's the exciting part about live video, folks. Just watching someone type or click. So thank you for joining me. While I do this, I'm also going to throw in a few commercials. Don't forget, last day of, if you're just joining, last day of call for speakers is today, December 1st. If you're watching this online later, I apologize that you missed it. Get your session submitted for Knowledge 18 or CreatorCon. Will be held in Las Vegas in May. That looks better. That's the way it should look. Okay, enough of that instance. It had issues. It's going to bed. Let's go back. I've got a couple things in the inbox. People are responding very well this morning. It is coming up on the top of the hour. I believe that's as much as I'm going to do for a Friday. And then maybe I'll catch you on live coding happy hour later today. All right, a reply. Stopping duplicate names from being inputted. Thompson. Apparently I have a new name. Oh, that's Jordan Thompson. Okay. Yes, you can do that with an on-change method. Here's an on-change script. Here's a Glide Ajax client script. My approach for this requirement would be create a new on-change client script. Create Glide Ajax on sysuser group table. Return true or false based on the search. There you go. Ooh, a cheat sheet. I haven't seen that before. Let's see what it says. Yellow, magenta, green, red, cyan. Oh, this is very similar to what we used to have in the wiki. I think it was in the wiki. There was a nice page that had some colored stuff. What are we returning here? Okay. You don't need to do eval JSON anymore. Client scripts do understand JSON stringify and JSON parse, but I suspect this was written pre-Helsinki when we went to ECMAScript. No, it wasn't. It was written a little over a month ago. Very helpful. Sean, I recommend using the client script JSON parse. Is used JSON stringify in here? No, JSON encode. Okay, I have one comment about that. Where's my reply comment button? Add a comment. Get XML answer will return the answer element from XML, so you don't need. Yep, that's a good idea. Also recommend using JSON stringify instead of JSON encode, as it is ECMAScript 5 compliant and not a ServiceNow version of the same thing. To do your encoding and JSON.parse instead of JSON.decode. Instead of it, I now have two things. So ES5 has been in place since Helsinki. If you're not there yet, here's a good reason, another good reason. Get up to date. Let's start off with a compliment. This is a very nice article. I recall when I was learning Glide Ajax, the color coding really helped on the example I used. I think it's even still in one of the old Tech Now episodes. Okay. Mama always said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Wish the internet knew that lesson. Nobody listens to their mother anymore. I feel like it was the upgrade. That's when it happened to me, just an FYI. I've done numerous upgrades, especially with my developer instance. I think I've had this one since Istanbul. So it went Istanbul, Jakarta, Kingston. I never saw that one. My demo CT is a production instance in our data center, not a personal developer instance. I have a requirement here. Ooh, a big subject. You can almost fit the whole thing in there. There is an inbound email to ServiceNow which would create an incident in ServiceNow. Once the incident is created, it would send an email to the user with accept and reject button if the email notification... I didn't open this in another tab. Shame on me. With accept an email notification, if the user clicks on accept, it would resolve the ticket. If the user clicks reject, it should email the external system. Any clue how to design this piece? Need help with code? Okay, IJS for the architecture. The inbound action part is already done. If someone sends an email, the default is to create an incident. If you want an approval, then create a workflow, and the approval will automatically, the approval already has a notification configured with approval rejection links available. All you need at this point is to create a new or modify the existing. Actually, you don't. You don't need to create the inbound action because it's going to process it, and the approval is connected to the task record. All you need is to build the workflow that does the approval and responds accordingly to the accept, reject actions. Approve. Sorry, it's not accept, it's approve. Approval, rejection, outputs of that action. Pretty straightforward. Is that a word? Is that a whole word? It is. No coding necessary, really. All right, back to the master index coming up on the top of the hour. Let's go check the inbox. I got 8 things in there, still cranking through. Shalini Mart Srinivas is helpful. Okay, that's good. Stopping duplicate names. Very good. That thread is taking off. Connection updates. Thrilled that people want to connect. Not really sure what the value is there, except that I believe I can now send them notifications up here on the send message. Updated field not changing. This is going to get interesting when we get to the ServiceNow community, because there is no inbox functionality. I'm going to be learning a whole new way to run this thing. Hi Chuck, your understanding is correct, so that means I need to create a separate field and update that field from the REST API. Do you have any other solution? I need to create a separate field and update that field from REST API. Yeah, unless no fields are, this is getting back to the why when I send the same values, is it not updating? Hi Ravi. Yes, unless you make some kind of update to that record, be it on an existing field or a new field. If nothing changes, nothing will be updated / saved. A new field that you force with some sort of timestamp, serial number, etc. will definitely do the trick. Unless you want to go with a scripted REST API, but I don't think that's where you want to go with this. Then you could do a force update. All right, the question about the $ UI pages has been resolved. Hooray, answered that one within an hour. That one I'm saving till later. Corey Johansson client script to code. Oh, here's an interesting one. Every once in a while, somebody comes up with this. This is a discussion that came up 11 months ago. How do I hide a UI action based on the changing of a field? Has anyone got this to work successfully? I'd prefer not to do this using a client script, but it seems the UI action conditions are not evaluated as fields change. That is correct. And if you try this with a client script, the only way to do it is going to be with the DOM manipulation, and DOM manipulation is inherently dangerous because the DOM changes. That's why we have APIs, right? Good programmers use APIs so they can change the underlying architecture. The answer is no, nobody's got this to work successfully, but I will keep track of that. Just wanted to point that out. Let's see, what else? Do we have anything else? It's top of the hour. I believe I'm going to end it there. Best practice in PPM. I am not a PPM person. It's been a good morning. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. If you're watching later, good luck. Hope you enjoy watching this. It'll be around for a couple of weeks on Twitch. I don't believe we have the high paid account or download anything, but since I'm simulcasting this over to YouTube, you can find it on the YouTube community channel, as you probably already did. You have a good weekend. With all luck, I will be back on Monday to answer more of your questions. I may be in and out of the community the remainder of the day, the remainder of the weekend. You never know. We'll see what comes up on Monday. But until then, let me find the happy stream button. You can get in touch with me over on the community at community.servicenow.com. My handle over there is C. Tomasi. Otherwise, if you look for Chuck Tomasi, you'll find me there. And again, go to the developer site, get yourself a free personal developer instance, and have fun with some of that stuff. Until then, let me do the sign off. Oh, I should let you know where else I will be. Somehow I am clicking incorrectly. There we go. I had to see around another obstacle on the desk. I will be, let's see, December 5th at the Denver Snug. So look for me there. I'll be at the platform table. I believe that's at the Denver Aquarium. So look forward to seeing you there if you're in the Denver area on December 5th that evening. We're having a Snug meetup. December 7th, I'll be in the San Francisco area at the Bay Area Developer Meetup. Lots of good people there. Look forward to seeing you. Some people I've met in the past are now ServiceNow employees. That's kind of crazy. When I was in Santa Clara on Tuesday, someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, I met you at the developer meetup." I said, "How long you been at ServiceNow?" 6 months. I said, "You were with ServiceNow back then?" She said, "No." So it's pretty cool. You never know where these networking opportunities are going to lead you. I am a classic case in point in that when I went to Knowledge 10 and now I work for ServiceNow. And then the December 14th, I'll be at the Phoenix Developer Meetup. So go over to meetup.com, look for a ServiceNow Developer Meetup near you. And again, if you don't have one, there's always an easy way to start. I will talk to you Monday. Take care. Have fun. Bye.